All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. And before we get into this spring football thing, I want to mention, forget about me and Pomp playing golf, right? There's a new team in town. Chris Muller and I took down our buddies at Bird's Foot. Dustin and Chris.
There was a famous last name on one of those gentlemen that we took down, and if his more famous relative had been playing, you and I would have lost and lost badly. But we had a great time at Bird's Foot yesterday, Richie. And let's be honest here, okay? We're on TV. I'm going to call it like it was. I played a pretty good front nine, but you carried the mail for 18 straight holes here, all right? That's the bottom line. You brought the goods. Dustin and Chris were left wanting. They were grasping at straws as Richie Walsh, forget about Colin Morikawa, okay, poured in putt after putt after putt on his way to a front nine 35.
Yeah, I was 1 under, by the way. Hey, you know, our claim to fame is we beat a Fjork, right? We took down a Fjork.
That's right. That's that more famous relative who, if Jim himself had shown up, we would have been in a big old heap of trouble. But we had a good time. I enjoyed it.
I do want to mention one of my friends, the pro at Rolling Fields, just had a hole-in-one on number 2 at Rolling Fields. 180 yards it was playing in an event on Saturday. He hit a 7-iron, so that's a pretty nice shot. So congratulations to Dick Logan over at Rolling Fields. All right, before we get to phone calls, Chris, I want to ask you about this spring and just talk a little bit more about it because, to me, I think that's the best plan right now. I'm for trying to play it in the fall, but this going back and forth and not knowing, and if one guy gets coronavirus, everything's going to get shut down. If everyone feels it's going to be more safe when there's a vaccine and we're at least going to be able to play the game and maybe have fans there, then why not push it to the spring? I don't think you're going to lose that much money. You're just kicking the can down the road, right?
Yeah, I think if you played it in the spring, you wouldn't lose money. You would also create a ton of programming in a time of the year when there usually is not much, right? After that Super Bowl bubble, you would own a couple of months, and I'll be right honest with you. College football, if it were to overlap a little bit with the start of a full-on baseball season again in April, would absolutely kick Major League Baseball's tail in the ratings. It would not be close. I don't know how they'd work it with ESPN and various providers, but they would absolutely dominate in the ratings. And I don't even know if it's so much about a vaccine as it is maybe by then, even if there isn't a vaccine, people have just taken more of this to heart. They've got more time to plan protocols. Because right now, here's the big problem. You're bringing the students back on campus at a lot of these places. The players are there. You and I know what we were all like when we were 18, 19, 20. You could get the best advice from medical experts and you go, I don't need that. Like, who cares? Kids aren't smart at that age. They make dumb decisions willfully, and I think that puts the players at risk right now.
Yeah, you don't want to listen when you're that age. I mean, I probably wouldn't, admittedly. I don't know how serious I would take it as an 18-year-old freshman going into college. Now it's a little bit different. Let's go out to Jack in Mount Lebanon. How you doing, Jack?
Hi, gentlemen. Hey, listen, I'd rather watch, well, 2 things. Now, 18 and 19-year-olds, this doesn't affect that much, and I'd rather watch college football than pro football. These guys are hungry. Pro football, they're doing it for that big check, and it's getting sickening.
Yeah, wouldn't you if you could?
Well, yeah, but it's getting sickening.
Why would you want to watch it? Here's something I never understood. Maybe when I got out of my teen years, Jack, and explain this to me. Why would you want to watch an inferior product? Because college basketball players are inferior to pros. College football players inferior to pros. How does that make for a truly more entertaining product and better product?
It's just watching the athletes. It's more fun. Like a college football player, when he scores a touchdown, he's happy for the school and the kids in the stands. When a pro does it, he says, oh, there's a raise for me. You could just see it.
So wait, when Desmond Howard scored his famous punt return for Michigan, he did the Heisman pose for all those fans at the Big House and not for himself?
Well, no, he was looking ahead too.
Hey, Jack, who do you root for, Jack?
What are you talking about here?
Do you have a college program that you like?
There. When Joey Del Sardo caught that pass, the best reception other than Larry Fitzgerald at Pitt, in the end zone.
I know the play you're talking about against Rutgers. He handed the ball to the refs, and Joey Del Sardo beat on my 5th grade basketball team, too. It stunk.
Well, was he a coach?
That's a true story, by the way. He went to St. Bernard's. I went to St. Teresa's. They beat us. It still stings, 25 years later? But come on. Can we get rid of this Pollyanna nonsense about cheering for the love of the game? Everybody's in it for themselves at both of those levels.
Yeah, and I would say you can make the argument maybe more so for some of the top-end athletes in college football because they want to get paid. They want to make it to that level. Look, I love college football. I love NFL football. I love college basketball. I kind of watch them the same, though. I mean, yeah, you got professionals and amateurs, but I love college football. To me, I don't really look at it that way. I don't think it's really that for the love of the game thing anymore.
Listen, I think the reason why people love college football, it's understandable. Like, there's a certain vibe around it. There's a certain game day experience that is very much, it's different than a pro game. And it's because you went to that school in a lot of cases, unless you're a Notre Dame fan, in which you don't have to have gone to the school. You could just be any old random person around the country rooting for them. But you've gone to that school maybe, and you've cheered for that team because they do directly represent you in a lot of ways. And I think it's, even though the teams are like, hey, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers, you play Pittsburgh, you play the whole city, I don't think the dynamic's the same at the pro level. I'm not trying to say that you're a sucker for liking college athletics. No, not at all. But this idea that these guys are only doing it for the love of the game is ridiculous.
Let's go out to Steve and Shaler. What's up, Steve?
Yeah, I was wondering, why is it that everybody thinks that if the NFL is playing, that they can just take over and be playing the whole weekend and just drown out college
Well, if college football doesn't, Steve, if college football decides not to play, like if your Power 5 conferences decide en masse that they're going to move to the spring, that's a lot of vacated television inventory that suddenly the NFL can just scoop up. I mean, they can cut deals like that. They can find ways to put their games on Saturdays. That's not that. Believe me, the television networks that would put those on the air are not complaining if there's a bunch of NFL games replacing the college slate.
Yeah, no doubt about that, and they should. I would spread it out. I would play, like you said, games on Friday, too. Let's go out to Paul and beat you. How you doing, Paul? Paul, you there?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, okay, listen, that guy that said that college football, the excitement, the outstanding athletics, as soon as he said that, I can picture Martavius Bryant doing a forward roll in midair, passing the ball between his legs and putting his feet down in bounds to score Steelers touchdown. I mean...
Yeah, but come on, Paul. Wasn't it much more fun when he was just a guy at Clemson that nobody knew anything about? No. I mean, that was way more fun than when he was making one of the most acrobatic catches any of us will ever see. I'm on your side, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really think this is a debate. I like them both. I think we could like them both. I think college football, I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if there's a for love of the game. I think it's probably equal on both sides. It's just that college athletes...
You know what the love of the game is, though? You know what the love of the game would be? Is like the Trevor Lawrences and Justin Fields. Say they move it to the spring, Richie.
Yeah.
If those guys actually want to play in the spring, that would tell me that they're, on their part, right? Not forget about the fans. There really is like a love of the game, do it for my teammates, because neither one of those guys, if they play a spring schedule this year, stands to gain anything by playing. They would be the numbers 1 and 2 picks in the NFL draft, whether they played this year or not.
You're 100% right. We got to go to our Tri-State Office Furniture tweet of the day, and this is the one I was talking about from Joe Burrow. I feel for all college athletes right now. I hope their voices are heard by the decision makers. If this happened a year ago, I may be looking for a job right now. Instead, he's making tens of millions of dollars with the Bengals. We got to take a break. Back to wrap things up coming up next.